Sigmund Freud and Joseph Campbell thought if you could understand your dreams, you could understand more about the primordial self. You can understand what's holding you back in your life. And you can understand what it means to be human. They always encourage keeping a dream journal to write down whatever you dreamed about the previous night. And they encourage you to write down it as soon as possible, as soon as you wake up. I did that for 2 weeks, and I think what came out of it was, let me take a look here what I wrote. 001100011110. You may be asking yourself, Chris, what are all these ones and zeros? Well, it turns out it's binary. And the binary code, when I put it through a binary translator, it turned out it said, fuck you, Chris Muhan, with a U in Mahan. So it spelled my name wrong. Samuel Coleridge, one of the best poets of the 1800s, actually wrote a poem called Kublah Khan after he had an opium-induced drug-hazed dream. And when he went to sleep, he dreamed that he saw, the pleasure palace of this Mongol ruler of China, Kublah Khan. And it was called Xanadu. And it was a place of endless waterfalls and galleries that went down into the earth, hundreds and hundreds of stories, stretching the bounds of imagination. I don't mean like he had an idea about what he was going to write the poem about. I mean he had the actual verses in his head. And so when he sat down to write them after he woke up, he started writing out line by line, and there was the poem just coming out in complete sentences and meter and everything. And Xanadu has been the inspiration for songs, books, movies. It's like the primordial paradise. But as Samuel Coleridge was writing this poem at his desk, his maid came in and asked if he'd wanted breakfast. He said something like, I guess being British and Samuel Coleridge, he said, "Shut up, woman, I'm trying to write fucking Kublah Khan." Point is, after the woman left the room and he went back to writing the poem, he realized that he'd forgotten what the next verse was. In fact, he'd forgotten the entire rest of the poem. And to this day, the poem remains a fragment. It's unfinished. And I had sort of a similar experience. I remember one night I was sleeping on my futon, which is rock hard and inhospitable to most forms of life, and I had a dream about a pyramid. And it was like the Triforce, but in 3D. And at each vertice of the pyramid, along each one of the sides, there was a letter. And if you read along the sides of the pyramid, it would spell out Ouroboros. Now here's what freaks me out. If you look at the diagram, it's a 2D representation of a 3D model. There are 4 pyramids here, and each one of the vertices there's a letter. One of the letters of Ouroboros, which is, if I remember correctly, 7 letters. So if you assemble all the smaller pyramids into the larger one the way the diagram shows, and you put the letters to each one of the vertices, and you start reading from one vertice to another and start going to other vertices, it'll always read Ouroboros. At least, that's what it should read as. I haven't actually assembled the paper model to figure out if the letters will actually read correctly. And looking at the 2D model, there's no way for me to actually map out the different patterns to make sure that they all work simultaneously. If I actually map out the patterns in a 3D model, if I make some paper pyramids and put the letters at each vertice and actually make it in real life, and I found out that the pattern reads correctly, that means that my mind can make 3D models of objects and find patterns across them that I can't actually figure out when I'm awake. And that freaks me the fuck out.
It's gone, it's only a dream, and it's fading